And it's all coming from Kenya's #1 private bank, that's Stanbic Bank. What is it that you can do with your money? At the very beginning, when you put it in for a rainy day, when you are then able to make sure that because of the fact that you can bank under privacy, then you can have all the things that you need to do with the knowledge of just one person who will let you through. It means that you're guaranteed certain things. And so Stanbic Bank says, you know what, bank with us today. We'll guarantee that, you know, your business is our business only. And then also we'll make sure that you can get through the different processes of what you need to do with your money in a way that is secure and you can plan for the future.
Very, very good things. Very good things. City, tell us about Tala.
Well, there are fintechs and then there are fintechs.
Yes.
And not all fintechs are registered with the Data Commission, neither are they regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya.
Yes.
Tala is. And it therefore means that when you have any interaction with Tala, you are secure. Well, it's really very simple. All of us have moments when you need money and you hadn't quite planned for that need.
Yes.
And sometimes you want a partner that can help you plan for your money. They say, haba na haba ujaza kibaba. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. It is that amount that you need at that particular point in time. Now, Tala comes to the rescue. All you need to do is download the app. All the details of what you need to do and how it is you can access finance at your fingertips will be available to you. Your trusted partner. That's what Tala is.
That's it.
That's it.
Simple like that.
Straightforward.
Very good. I like such simple messages. Like that. The next conversation is going to be about Kilifi County. And we're talking about the Kilifi County International Investment Conference that's coming up shortly. And we'll hear more about this from the Deputy Governor of Kilifi County. We asked people to tell us online. Who's the Deputy Governor of Kilifi County? Answers. People they're almost giving us your life history. Her Excellency Flora Chibule is the Deputy Governor of Kilifi County. She's in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Karibu sana. Accompanied by the Chief Officer for Trade, Lynn Farah. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning, how are you?
Welcome to the hot seat of the situation.
Thank you.
Karibuni sana. Now,
Asante.
the hot seat begins this way. The proverb. Okay?
Oh dear.
This week,
She said, oh dear.
the proverbs are from Africa.
Okay.
South of the Sahara. North of the Limpopo. East of Africa. Continue, City.
Well, yes, this particular country neighbors a country that has the longest coastline on this continent.
Yes.
It also neighbors a country that is best known for its bananas. It also borders another country that begins with T. It borders another country whose name begins with S. Another one whose name begins with E. Which country do you think this is?
Kenya.
Your Excellency?
You mentioned Tanzania, but it's Kenya.
Okay. Clearly the two of you did not utilize your time in geography class well. It is Kenya. It is Kenya. So our proverbs for this week are from Kenya, and I was asked, well, Kenya has many communities. I said, yes, they do, but we have a national language, it's Kiswahili. So the proverbs will be in Kiswahili. Yes, your task will be to translate it into English, and then now tell us what you think the meaning is. Okay? Haki nimechoka kutangatanga, hapa tatia nanga. That's the proverb.
Say it again, Bwana. Wait, that's something like a story.
But then, that's what I thought it was.
Haki nimechoka kutangatanga.
Haki nimeongeza mimi. It is because wallahi nimechoka.
You're
Nimechoka.
emphasizing.
Yes. Nimechoka kutangatanga. Hapa tatia nanga. Translation first of all.
Okay. Nimechoka kutangatanga. I'm done with it. I'm just fed up of going hetla sketla. Hapa natia nanga. I've okay, direct translation. I've reached. I'm contented. You know, I'm tired of going here and there. I think I'm focused. I'm contented to be where I am. Yes.
So,
What's
I
interpretation?
I agree.
All
I
right.
think
it's the same thing. You know, I'm tired of wandering about, and here I found my home. Yes. Or here I set my roots.
What do you think that means?
plant myself.
You've explained it well, but what do you think it means?
Okay, in layman's language, it means, we are fed up. I've worked, I've done so much. I'm not being successful. There are things that are not thrown to me well, and here I am. I want a way out. It's like you've come to your senses. This is the direction you want to go. This is the focus I want to achieve. Ruthless focus. I've found my path, and I'm going to stand on this path because it's going to lead me somewhere. So it could be in whatever context, it's a Kenyan, whoever it is tired of maybe doing the same things, doing the same things always without a plan, and you don't make a shift. You'll achieve the same results. And those results are the ones that we are tired of. Kiswahili tunasema punda mechoka. Punda mechoka bwana. So we have to, lazima tuangalie mbinu mbadala. And we are looking at, we have a way out. There's light at the end of this tunnel. Let me go to this way. Let me take this route. It shall be well with me.
Very nice.
Yes.
Theo, do you agree?
I agree completely. And DG was a teacher. My Kiswahili is very challenged, so I go with what she says.
You defer to her knowledge and wisdom.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, Kilifi County. Am I right that it's the county with the longest coastline in Kenya?
Yes.
Very true.
Okay. So blue economy pale, top level.
Blue economy ndo mambo yao yapikwa pale.
And then when it comes to agriculture, you're also big on several things in agriculture. Like which one?
Okay, in Kilifi, we say we are a nut growers. That's cashew and coconut, and also fruit growers. The sweetest pineapple you've ever tasted comes from Kilifi, a place called Magarini. Then we have watermelons and mangoes, big scale. Of course, there are other things, but those are the major in agriculture.
Right.
Of course, the people of Kilifi, our staple food is ugali. So we have maize, but of course we have maize growers in Kenya, bigger than Kilifi. Of course, as far as subsistence farming is concerned, we have the other type of cash crops, but then major in nuts and fruits.
Right. Ndu? Pia bamba iko Kilifi.
Safari ya bamba.
Ni machero.
Oh my God.
It's a song.
We used to sing it in school, and I had no idea where it was. So as I grew up, and I had a friend who was like, so I was like, what is Bamba? Where is Bamba? So when I first went to Bamba, I was like, this is Bamba.
You get it.
So the day before I went, I was like, oh, Nena, Bamba Machero. Machero is tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Machero.
Bantu.
Okay.
Link.
Yeah.
Sing for her.
Safari, oh yeah, Safari ya Bamba ni Machero.
I could do something.
Yeah. Bamba is a town in Ganze sub-county. We have 7 sub-counties. So Bamba is part of Ganze. It's quite wide.
Yeah.
Why do they say safari ya bamba ni machero? Machero is tomorrow.
Yes. So maybe it's you want to plan. If you don't plan, you'll fail. So safari ya bamba ni machero. One, proximity. Bamba is quite far. Yeah, so we are talking of from CBD Kilifi. It's around 1 hour, 20 minutes, 1.5 hours. We thank God, Kera. So the roads are now good. So give it 1 hour, 20 minutes. But before it was 2+ hours to reach Bamba. So safari ya bamba ni machero. It means you have to prepare. You have to pre-plan when you are going to those spaces. You cannot say you want to accomplish something the very day. Anything can happen on the way. I mean, our roads sometimes, the potholes and what have you, you reach there late, so you might not accomplish your quest.
Okay. Lynn, what else are the economic activities in Kilifi?
Tourism. I don't think there's any family in Kilifi, maybe less than 10%, that have not been, who don't have a family member who's involved in tourism or who was involved in tourism. So tourism is a major, it was, and it started to decline, but it was a major economic backbone for Kilifi. Manufacturing is also a big space. Real estate, a lot of people are building homes. There's a lot of land in Kilifi, so people are setting up factories. We have mining as a big area. One of the things we want to look into is medical tourism. It's a good place to recuperate. So if we can tap into that space where somebody you would set up a hospital, a state-of-the-art hospital, instead of flying out of the country, come to Kilifi, get your treatment, and have a nice place to rest and recuperate. DG has spoken about agribusiness and agriculture and blue economy. So those are the big areas that we have right now and that we want to continue to exploit, as well as looking into other areas.
Okay. So let's then talk about the Kilifi County International Investment Conference. We're saying it's sick. Yeah. What is it, Your Excellency?
Okay. Kilifi County International Investment Conference. I mean, we all know about conferences, and we are telling the world, we are telling Kenyans that we in Kilifi, we have investment opportunities. We don't want people to think of Kilifi just like a place for holiday, like what the chief officer has mentioned, a place to the people who are suffering maybe from arthritis or during COVID, they were looking for safe spaces there. But we're saying the investment conference, we want to tell our story, because the uniqueness of Kilifi, one, we already have investors, to be precise, 98 already investors in Kilifi. So we are telling our story that in Kilifi we have the natural resources there, we have the people. I mean, we're talking of human resource, both skilled and unskilled. Human resource that are trainable. So when we are talking about the investments, you're talking of opportunities that have not yet been tapped, much as we have the 98 investors already. We have the low-hanging fruits, like the minerals that we have in Kilifi. Best titanium, manganese, iron core, all the building materials, limestone, kokoto, sand. We have all that. We've just talked about the longest beach line. We have places, just the seashore, which have not been tapped. We are looking for opportunities whereby people who want to invest in hospitality industry, they will come to Kilifi to see what is already there, or they put up new spaces. We are calling people from the global spaces in who are hoteliers and things like that. And she mentioned about health tourism. So in that investment conferences, one, you're going to have an opportunity to speak, being in discussions with experts in different fields, because we want to talk about health We want to talk about tourism. We want to talk about a blue economy and agribusiness. I mean, we have the Galana Kulalu. But what else, what more can we do in those spaces? We are talking of renewable energy. 10 out of 12 months in Kilifi, we have the solar. I mean, how can people come in and invest in the renewable energy, for example? So that's the story we want to tell the world. What you can find in Kilifi, the culture, the people, and the landmarks. Having 2 UNESCO sites, the Arabuko Sokoke, the Gedi ruins, the sand dunes, Hell's Kitchen, Vasco da Gama Pillar. You know, when you're talking of religion, when you're talking of education, it came to Kenya. Have you thought, Latif, which part of Kenya did Vasco da Gama come to? Ludwig Krapf come to? It was in Kilifi. And that's where education then spread throughout Kenya. So those are kind of stories, those are opportunities that we want to tell the world, that there is more in Kilifi. And from where I sit, the governor we are not just giving political goodwill, we are bringing out political choices. We know the climate of investment, and we want to share it, and we want people to come on board so that we want the investment to be all about the people of Kilifi. The current leadership, we have developed a plan for the next 50 years so that even when the investors we are calling them now, it's not about the current government. We are looking at this current government, which is going to be in the next 10 years and beyond. So that at the end of it all, it's about the coastal, the Kilifian people who will open up to business opportunities. I mean, we are talking of the youth, which is 60% of the 1.5 million Kilifians. And when you're talking of Kilifians, it's cosmopolitan.
Indeed.
Yes.
I want to look at some of the industry that you talked about, especially the nut industry. Of course, that has been big. So every time, just looking at some of the things that would be big for industry, food is always one of them. And if you look at coconut and we look at cashew nut, very big coming out of Kilifi. And if we are saying that there needs to be some kind of investment, for what exactly? For us to understand what would have been the issues that are ailing the nuts industry in Kilifi, because these are big ticket items, in my opinion, and from what we've been able to see. What's ailing the industry at the moment that investment essentially would cure?
I think if you look back several years, there was an abundance of cashew nut trees. I think kids during the holidays there was a season where you would drive through Kilifi and you could smell cashews roasting. You know, there's the fruit of the cashew that people would eat with no shirt on because it would stain your clothes.
Yes.
But now, because of maybe policies or an availability of consolidated markets, people opted to stop growing cashews in order to focus on other things. And the same has happened with mangoes, the same has happened with coconuts. So you find the coconuts that were planted by your great-grandfather are probably the ones that are still being used now. Now what we want to do, because like if you travel, even if you come to Nairobi, the price for coconut, even Madafu water, is so high. People are bottling. You know, I've watched videos of guys in Thailand, like they take the whole dafu, they clean it up, they they do it in a way that it can then be sold, and when you go to the supermarket, you buy it and you can have it fresh. So we want to, one, get people to now start growing them again. We have, there are some organizations in Kilifi that are doing cashews, but they don't have enough, We can't, so we want to encourage our farmers and investors to come, and this is a market, it is available. The price of cashew nuts is much higher than the price of peanuts, So can we get into that space? Can we now consolidate the produce that we have and export it or sell it out there so that there is a ripple effect?
Indeed.
You look at cocoa, you look at coffee, you look at tea, we have a cash crop, but we're not utilizing it the way we should. So this is what we really like. I think so when we're looking at investors in the production of it and investors in the value addition. And I think that's with all the products. Even when you're talking about blue economy, production, value addition, farming, production, value addition. So that's the thing that we really want to drive, and all in a sustainable way.
Is there a plug-in to the global scene? Because I think about what happens with shea nuts in West Africa, and then what could happen with coconut oil. The world is going gaga over coconut oil today. And here we have it in abundance. And the potential for it to be huge is great. So would these be some of the conversations that are being had? Something that has global desire, and you have it right here. It needs a little bit of a kick to then be able to really get global.
One of the advantages Kilifi has is its proximity to the port. You're less than an hour away from the port. So anybody who wants to export does not have to travel far, So we are looking to consolidate those market linkages, so because we have interest from the Middle East, we have interest from Asia, we have interest from the European Union, from America. So this is, it's why should people be getting coconuts from the Far East, or why should they be getting cashews from India? Sometimes you go into places and you look and you'll see it's produce of India. Why? We have our own cashews here, So we need to take pride in what we produce and put it out there.
I have to ask this question. What is the county doing? What is the deliberate action that the county is doing to ensure that the things that you're saying happen? And I'll tell you why I'm asking. There is a cashew nut factory in Kilifi. We now have one university in Kilifi. Most people don't even know that Malindi is actually in Kilifi County. They know Malindi. Okay? And then there's this huge development on what was once a sisal farm that everybody talks about.
Pingo development.
Kilifi County. Now, it appears that Kilifi started taking steps backwards as opposed to forward. There was an MP of Malindi town called Francis Bobby Tuva. His history was actually quite amazing because there was a cooperative he started that actually owned shares in a beach hotel in Malindi. Now you're talking about the previous century, not this one, okay?
Yeah.
They even had a bus company. Then there was a cashew nut factory. Then in the 90s, late 90s, there were plans to actually deliberately plant coconut trees in abundance so that the very thing you're talking about should be done. There's a blueprint, even as I speak now, in the Ministry of Finance. It exists because the homework was done. People went to Indonesia and all those kinds, and they came back and they said, this is the plan. Now, my question, when the county government seeks to uplift the livelihood of the people of Kilifi, what are the deliberate steps that they're taking to ensure that this abundance of wealth that actually already exists, is enhanced and tapped so that everything that you're saying is not only achieved, but a lot more than that is achieved?
Thank you so much, Muga. It's true. Back then, when you talk of Kilifi, we have the sisal. We actually had the cashew factory. But then, later on, it ran down. We now have one also owned by one Chinese, a private one. So, some of the deliberate steps is, for example, we have a body called Carlo in Twapa. We were looking at the ancient cashew crop. Part of the trees attracted people to make charcoal to cut down. So we got a new seedling which we've distributed to our farmers. It takes a shorter time to actually get the nuts. We are also looking at ways in which we are going to also bring another new breed of the coconut. Of course, the best one is the ancient one. It's taller, and it takes a longer time to get the nuts. But then we have the correct climate to grow these cashews, to grow the coconut. So what we are doing is we are telling our farmers to incorporate, because the beauty with these two are they can be intercrop. I mean, you can also grow other crops amongst these ones. And another thing which we have really emphasized in Gideon Maitha's government, we have these agricultural experts who normally also go for follow-up activities right in the grassroots. It was one thing, a long time ago when people were looking at cashew, when they were looking at coconut, they were just growing it as if it's just it's a bush.
Yeah.
But now we are giving them knowledge that you're doing it intentionally. The way we could weed our crops when we are growing these other crops. We will just let coconut just grow in the wild. But now we are bringing that knowledge to our people, that you just take care of a coconut tree, you take care of a cashew tree, just like the people who grow maize, the way you grow coffee, and the way you grow tea. And then we have these agricultural experts who go and see to it that in case there are any gaps, we address those gaps. Because it's one thing to empower a community and then you let them be. Because we don't want post-harvest losses. We don't want situations whereby they are going to have crises like pests, like some of these things that normally crop up and the crop dwindles. So we have a deliberate effort to ensure that we really we really skyrocket the farming part, because part of His Excellency, our manifesto, is sustainability in food production.
Right.
Yes. And that is key. Yes.
It's a big thing. Let's take a break at 24 minutes to 8. We're having a conversation about the Kilifi County International Investment Conference 2024. What date is it, Lynn?
4th to 6th of December.
From the 4th to 6th of December.
And on the 7th, we have a golf tournament.
Where?
So
4th to 6th, where?
At Vipingo Ridge in Kilifi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Open to all.
Open to all. Pay, but it's open to all.
Very good.
So we have the VIP, and I expect you guys will pay VIP tickets.
So
yes.
You're saying we are free to pay.
You're free to pay. Exactly. Thank you.
It's at Vipingo Ridge on the 4th to the 6th of December.
Yes.
Of course, everybody will be flocking in there now. This is the night time for me now to plug in my associations. Next to Vipingo Ridge, if you're looking for accommodation, you can go to Pazuri at Vipingo by Superior Homes Kenya. Plug, right? Yeah. So Pazuri at Vipingo is one of those that Lynn is talking about. Real estate development companies, Superior Homes Kenya, developing about 110 acres of beautiful homes at Pazuri at Vipingo. Her Excellency Flora Chibule is the Deputy Governor of Kilifi County. Lynn Farah is the Chief Officer for Trade, and she'll be stepping out to allow Charles Kamau to join us. He's the advisor on strategic partnerships after this break. As we take the break, remember what we'll be talking about? We'll be talking about retirement. Taifa Pension Fund. I got it right this time, the first round. Taifa Pension Fund. TaifaPensionFund.com. It is managed, of course, by the largest pension fund administrator, CPF Financial Services. It's the fastest growing pension fund, and you need to know and learn more about it. They have many members, over 200 members, employers, over 500,000 members, and many retirees who are already benefiting from it. 22 minutes to 8. We'll be back shortly.
We value your feedback and welcome your comments,